Alright, we are now live. Let's get into the game. Sweet. Of course. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, my, face cam's on, right? Yes, it is. Good. Gravel. I swear, I feel like he's the most active member other than me. Because I haven't seen much of anybody else on, but he's usually always on. The amount of time he's on is unknown, but he's always on in one way or another. Digging down the pit. Great. What? This is a nice and calming stream, so this is a good thing to be doing. Oh, it felt like gravel just fell on me, even though there was none. There we go. You know what? Maybe there's something else I can do. Is he home? No, he is not. I wonder where he is. And just avoid that rotten flesh because it's rotten flesh. Nobody likes rotten flesh. Maybe I should go strip mining. Yeah, I like that idea. Let me go empty my inventory and go strip mining. Oh, he's here. Just looks up, sees me. Server has become quite populated. Alright. You know what? All that can stay on me. Otherwise, I think it's a good time to go and mine. God, I hate this place. Alright, well. One done that way. Wait a second, I didn't do these. I never put torches in mine. 1, 2. Somebody start here. Let's see. 1, 2. Perfect. And now to go mining. Here, just... Ooh, hold on. Just so we can see better. Brightness set to 100. Stream, hopefully you can see better now. There we go. Alright, keep mining. Y equals 11, the perfect place for diamonds. And lava. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem if there's lava. Although, Nah, never mind. There's no problem. Oh, sweet. Redstone. Redstone's always useful, especially because I don't have a witch farm set up. And that's on my to-do list. I should make a book and just put everything that I want to do on the server in it. Is that all the redstone? It looks like it. Ooh. Oh. Wait, why am I mining iron? My iron is trash. Although I guess it is me. I collect... You know what? I collect every ore. This is why I like this server. There's always some people to talk to. It's always nice. Is there more? There is. Never mind, there isn't. Useful ores. Oh. So one of the members on the server once asked me why we don't make the economy on iron or something. My answer was because you can farm it. Everything you can farm easily in this game. Gold, you can farm it. Iron, you can farm it. Emerald, you can farm it. Coal, you can even farm that. Surprisingly, all you need to do is get an automatic wither skeleton killer. They drop coal, so that's an easy way to farm that. But the one thing that isn't easy to farm and is worth quite a bit is diamond. You know what? Yeah, iron sucks. It just sucks. There's no other arguments there. Oh. I should really organize my hotbar. It's a mess. Great, staircase. Oh, the villagers, hello. Useless. Everything here is useless to me, and just because it sets the mood a little more nice and dark. Don't know how else to say it. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna need to repair my pickaxe. Nice and calming. This is how I like it. I'm sure some people would love to see me do something more crazy and insane. Yeah, I think those are some good words for it. Kind of like SCPSL. But honestly, tonight's a good night just to do this. Reasons? None. Just is a good night to do this. Why level 35? Getting close to diamond level. Which is one of the reasons why I started digging this giant hole, but Another reason was to hold a bunch of other things, like farms I'm going to make. This is nice. Where did he go? Oh, he's up there. Yeah, without armor, I'm pretty sure this would be a death drop. But I haven't tested it, and I don't plan on it testing it. So, there we go. Oh. This is nice. Oh, here, I'm gonna organize my inventory a little. There we go. In fact, a little more. As I call it, the poor man's beacon. Because while you don't keep it forever, sure is quick when you have it. Oh, hey, random person. How are you? Sorry for not streaming last night, if that's what you're going to maybe yell at me about. Benifer. No, I don't really care. Okay. Maybe I need to organize a little more. There we go. I'm in Iowa on vacation. Oh, that's good. Is your seeing family stuff? Yeah. That's good to hear. Hope you're doing. Hope it's all going good. Water bucket, conduit, power. Go as fast as you can. As I call it, the poor man's beacon. I ain't lying. Tis. Alright. Conduit power. Go! Oh. Go, conduit! Oh, a little too far there. I collect every resource I get from this just because... Also, is this on your private server? Yep, this is the NPM server. And also on the NPM Discord, and the server, the final original member of the server has rejoined. All 3 original members have now got access to the server once more. Efficiency 5 plus haste and stuff, which is basically what the conduit power gives you, is Omega OP. In fact, you know what? I think even it's more efficient to without Instamine to go in rows, as you can see, but with Instamine, I think this will be more efficient. Woo! Just gotta make sure I don't break my epic pickaxe here. Redeemed. What? What do you mean redeemed? I hate these gravel pits. It says redeemed on your screen. Oh yeah, that's why. That's right. Hold on. Give me a moment to fix that. And that's because I have new things basically. I now have a quarter store, basically, and you can buy stuff in it, like things with quarters. All the stuff is very expensive, like 7,000 for VIP, 10,000 for quarter collector. Here, stream store. Yeah, 10,000, like above. Yeah, 10,000 for quarter collector, 5,000 to choose a game I play, and a million to choose for a million for me to do a face reveal. So yeah, here. You're about to see a basically what happens when somebody. See, there we go. There you go. I just had to simulate an item redemption to get rid of it. At least. I think that should have gotten rid of it. Did it? Yeah, it did. We're good. Alright, time to get rid of this gravel over here. Absolutely hate gravel. Sounds unnecessary. It is! But that's why I do it. It's basically just so people have a way to spend their quarters. And apparently, for some people, it is very important that they see my face. No idea why, but it is. I mean, I'm sure you've met one of those type of people. How does one check how many quarters they have? Exclamation, I believe it's exclamation point balance. At least, however you start a command, I can't remember. But it's something balance. I believe it's exclamation point. How you do commands. And if you would like to, I can give you a link on where you can check for all commands. Something wrong? Final blow. Alright, time to go ham again. Sure, let's see those commands. Alright, just give me a moment here. Alright, there we go. Collect all the items so they don't despawn because, believe it or not, these items can actually become quite useful for me in the future. Like, seriously useful. I use all the stone mainly on my nether tunnels. So, safe passage. Alright. Here, let me get you those let me get you to my page, my no yeah, I think profile page should work. Maybe? No, I don't think it. So, what was it? It was called, yes. Let's just go to Stream Store, Open Store. Never know when you're going to need some rocks. Yeah. There you go. Okay, sent it to every platform. Great. There. That will bring you to my home page, which will one of the tabs on it is what's it called? Commands. Oh, I feel invincible. Or not invincible, but overpowered more of. Oh, now I've got to switch over to my non-Silk Touch pickaxe because my Silk Touch one is too low on durability to successfully mine it without worrying about it breaking. So, yeah. This one, however, does have Fortune 3, so I get lots of coal. Oh boy, that's a lot of cobble. Maybe I can use this all, but I'm probably going to smelt it up into stone so I can use it in the nether tunnels and stuff. So it says I have 0, but I don't think I'm logged into in on Streamlabs. Yeah, you need to log in on Twitch. But if you don't want to log into Twitch on that, you can just check the commands area and see what command it is to check your balance. That scared me more than it should have. It's dead. That's good. Alright. Oh boy. That's a deep chasm. Darn, I was hoping more members would join the stream. Nah, I guess 2 of us is fine. Alright. More water. water pouring. Poor man's beacon, go! Because that's literally what it is. It's a poor man's beacon. Because the poor man uses the conduit. Because it also gives them Instamine. Yeah. Don't mind me. Gotta get a separate app to log into on Streamlabs, so... Yeah, well, I don't use Streamlabs anymore, so you should be fine there, friend. uh... Thankfully, it's always an insta-dig with the shovel. Lots of gravel. Alright, and... I'm out of range, that's right. Mining or not, I always keep a bucket on me. Can be very handy sometimes. Alright, stone there, stone there. I'm gonna have to really just fix those walls in the future. Instamine! Oh, fill my inventory again. Well, wait, but how do I check my balance? It just shows your profile. In one of the tabs on the on my profile, so up top there's a bundle of tabs. One of them is the home thing. That's the one you're currently selected. Is currently selected. What you're going to want to do is go to the look for another one that I can't remember what it looks like. I believe it's a sword. It looks like a sword. That's the tab you're going to want to go to. the sword with the sword one shows all commands. And on the left side of my profile, it'll tell you how many you earn, how many you can earn per minute, how many you earn per follow, you earn for a follow, subscription, so on. So much fun just using my pickaxe. I can insta-mine everything in sight. Oh, there goes Vincent. Oh, now it's just me. What the heck? Alright, I should be back. Hopefully I'm back. Hopefully I'm back. My entire internet just crashed, so that's fun. I broke nothing. My internet just decides to crash at random moments in my life. Yeah. It's fun. Okay, let's test this out. That also explains why Vincent just randomly disappeared. Okay. Looks like we're reconnected. Gameplay. Yeah, yeah. Neat, yep. Neat indeed. Reasons why it does that? None. I have none. All I know is it just does it and doesn't care about anything else. I've got a feeling it has to do with my father's poor attempts at trying to make the IP static, but yeah, I can't tell for sure why, so. Alright, this is far. This is too out of range. This is out of range of the conduit. Great. Oh, there's Vincent. He's rejoining. Ouch. That hurt my feelings. It do work. What do work? It do not work. What do not work? Okay, geez, I did not realize how much we have cleared out. Oh, wait, bro, what do you mean? Oh, are you trying to request a song? Okay, you have to do exclamation point SR. and then paste the link in. Oh, it says it's not music? Well, is it music? Well, my question is it music? Because if not, here, let me go fix that quickly. Song request. Media request. That's it. Alright. Settings. Both, let's see. Limit to music. Off. Saved. Okay, now you should be able to request. Let's set it to very low moderation. There. You should now be able to request music. You underestimate my power. Don't try it. Alright. It is neato. So, tell me if you request it. Hold on. Pending approval. Why do I have to approve the song? Give me a moment. No idea why it has to be approved first. I'm still figuring that part out. But yeah, let me just oh wait, no, never mind. Hold on. Why isn't it working? Okay, media request. Remove that. It's better, I don't care. Pending approval. Approve all. Approve. And if I press this... Oh my gosh, why didn't it skip it? I can give quarters what? Yeah, you can give your own quarters to other people. No, you can't give, you can only give your quarters to other people. You can't give yourself quarters. Although, I haven't tested if you can give yourself quarters yet, so... You know what? Go for it. Try giving yourself quarters. Who knows if it'll work. I have 1,000 to bribe with. Holy cow, super fast. This looks like a cave. But it might have been my man-made dug one. Yeah, nice. I believe you are right behind JC in a quarter count. Or somewhere behind JC. Can't say how far because I haven't checked in some time. There we go. Lots of it. Oh, what's that? Is that a cave? He's like 600 and a half, and you have 10,000. Oh yeah, that was 10,000 I was supposed to test with. But I never really used it because, well, I didn't want to break my system. Because, well, I found another way to test it. Yeah, here, let me remove myself from the leaderboard. I'll have 0 quarters. Yeah, here, let me quickly do that. Stream elements. Please remove all my quarters. Thank you. Yeah, I've got to go to the leaderboard. Yeah. Reset my quarters, thank you. Bruh, yeah. Well, now I don't have any quarters, so... It doesn't add up. What do you mean it doesn't add up? I don't know what you're talking about. You need to specify what doesn't add up. Because a lot of things don't add up. Like, 10 plus 7 equals 18 doesn't add up. Why would you ever pay to choose a game, lol? Oh, well, that is if you want me to play a specific game, you can choose what I play. Like, if I own, let's say, here's a game I haven't played in quite some time. Surviving Mars. For 5,000 quarters, you can request that I play Surviving Mars again. Yeah, but I can just ask. You could just ask, but I won't start playing it immediately on stream. I'll basically just take it as a suggestion, and who knows if I'll ever actually get to it. I seem to be bad with doing that type of stuff. Also, it's 10 every 10 minutes. Yeah, I can set it to be 1 every 1 minute, but so you get 10 every 10 minutes. So basically, you have to watch for 5,000 minutes just to have you play a game for one stream. Yeah, basically. Their money, I guess. Let me math, okay. Lots of stuff. This mining thing has been a great success so far. I started all the way up there at the dirt line, and now I'm all the way down here. That's quite a bit now that I realize. Jeez. Also, I don't know if you saw the announcement on Discord, but when I hit affiliate, I will be doing a special Java Minecraft server that people can join, which is basically Hunger Games, but when you die, you have to help get other people to die. Oh, great, I'm out of range. Alright. You know what, I should put a conduit on each side of the, Oh no, don't tell me is it him or is it me? Because I don't see, nothing seems to be happening to me right now, so that's good. I'm just gonna guess he had to get off. It's beautiful. Let's just dig out these spots a little. Oh, there he is. So you have to watch your stream for 3.5 days straight just to have you play one game for one stream. Yeah, basically. I do plan on making like cheaper rewards, like I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what cheaper rewards I'll make, but I'll make cheaper rewards that aren't in the thousands of quarters to buy. Yeah, I know. I did the math myself, friend. Yeah, but here's the thing. The face reveal, I'm expecting to be more of a group project of sorts. Because you can give quarters to you can give your own quarters to other people. So that means that that means either you can be really dedicated on your own, or you can have a bunch of dedicated fans working together to reveal my face. Because as you know, I have no set time of revealing my face, so who knows, it could be hundreds of years. No. But if I sign on to my alt profile and watch, I can basically double my quarters. You could, but I don't like cheaters. Also, hosting gives me quarters, so yeah. Every host gives you, I can't remember how many quarters, but I like to keep it at a low because it's only a host. You can do that infinite amount of times. Until I stop streaming. Is this close enough? It is. Oh, having a beacon would be so nice. It's not cheating, I'm following the rules. You're stretching the rules. No, you're more of stretching the rules, friend. Alright. Not too much stone left to go. Ooh, lots of gravel there. Let me just collect that. I forgot the password. I forgot to the password to the account, so it won't work. Also, I don't care about your pity quarters. Of course you don't. I mean, I guess in the future, when I have, hopefully when I have, if I have more people. One sec. Yeah, okay. In the future, I hope that I'll have more people watching me on a daily basis whenever I stream. So basically, you can use your quarters as a way of saying, I'm more dedicated than all of you. You can basically just show off how good you are. Ooh, lapis. We're getting to lapis level? Wow. Yeah, basically. That's a perfect way of saying it. I wasted more of my life watching this random person that I found for entertainment than any of you ever have. Easy way to show off to people. Be like, I've been here since the beginning. Oh my gosh, so much gravel, I hate it. But then again, good for concrete. But I don't use concrete, so I still hate it. Yeah, boy, Instamine! Ah, this is nice and calming. Alright, I think that's it. I think that's all the gaps. Nope, never mind. There's a big gap here. It's like the end of a cave system. Little cave. And let's just... well, actually, you know what? Maybe I could leave it off here, or maybe I could continue digging. I will say one day it will be deep, it will be bedrock level. That is my goal. Has always been my goal, and will be forever. Until I actually complete it. I mean, hey, look at me. I'm wasting my life playing video games instead of actually studying and stuff. So yeah, I fall under that category. I fall under that as well. Because after all, us humans have feelings, and that's what's keeping us back from being super productive. Ooh, more iron. I hear iron in the makings. Yeah! Alright, and now we're back down. Where we can mine some more! You just ruined my insta-mining session. What a horrible thing. Honestly, my thought on phantoms is they're more annoying than frightening. Kind of like zombies. Why is logging into Streamlabs so freaking difficult? I don't know. Mining away. Oh, excuse me for a moment. What the? Oi, it's a phantom! Get over here, boy. I'm trying to hit you. Okay, we're good. Also, I can't tell if you actually mean you're logging into Streamlabs or if you're just saying Stream Elements. Or if you're just trying to... You're just maybe logging into Stream Elements instead. Because I no longer use Streamlabs. I use Stream Elements. So... Like, I can't tell anymore. Oh, excuse me for a moment. Alright, I'm back. Lots of mining, la da 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 da. Nice and calming stream, basically. I honestly don't know how I'm going to turn this into a compilation. Because I don't think there is a way to turn something so boring into good compilation. Best way I can think about doing it is adding it to an end of another compilation, just putting it down to 2 minutes of footage. The best way I can think of doing it. Anyways, more water, more digging. Oh, why is insta-mining so satisfying, though? I mean, seriously, I can just go through this entire thing. If it was all just stone, and I had that power forever, without it running out, that would be so nice. Ugh, getting tired. Oh, it's only 9 o'clock, wow. Alright, well, continue mining. Get lots of coal, apparently. Man, this bit is huge. From ground level to bedrock, this is going to be a great thing. Heck, maybe I should even build up and make it to skybox, to the sky limit. I guess there is really no skybox here. Because you can only build up to 256. You can only, what's it called? you can still go past that with elytras and stuff, or creative mode flying. Sweet. Oh! That scared me. Oh, got a hair on my nose. Give me a moment. Oh, my headphones fell off. That's great. What is hitting my nose? Oh, that's it. Okay. Oh, look. A second viewer. Could it be JC? Or is it somebody else? You're upset and mad. Because of how hard it is to log in, or is it another reason? Alright, collect all of that. That's good. Oh, can't wait to get a beacon. Why is it the... Oh, shoot. I forgot to hit the button. And yes, logging in won't work. Oh. Wait, are you logging into Streamlabs or Stream Elements? And that's my question, because you keep saying Streamlabs, and I don't know if you're just saying it in place of Stream Elements, or if you're literally logging into Streamlabs. Also, your green screen corners are kind of wonky. Yeah, I know. I've tried to fix it multiple times. You can imagine how that's gone. Streamlabs, no app for Elements. Well, I don't use Streamlabs, so... using Streamlabs might not be... Trying to log into Streamlabs if you're trying to access me and stuff might not be a good idea, because I don't use that anymore. Alright. Well, time to get to mining again. La-da-da-da. Nice and calming. Just mine some stone stuff. Maybe your camera is wonky. And can you do the link to the commands, or is there a command for that? Yeah, here, I can give you an immediate link to that. Let me just get it open first. Yeah. Commands. There you go. Did I hear a phantom dying? Or am I just hearing that bat? Because I felt like I heard a phantom dying somewhere. Yeah, there are all the commands for ya. No problem. Why can't I... Give me the water! There we go. Super mining, la da da da. so fast. Okay, now it's run out. Why does there have to be so much gravel? Okay, you know what? Time to enter my inventory. Thanks, so neat. Yeah, all the commands, it's crazy. I believe that shows you every command available. However, I believe only some can be run by specific people, like moderators and stuff. Oh boy, time to start dumping into new chests. Wow, new row. Like right now, I could give you 5 million quarters, but I'm not going to. Heck, the only reason why I gave myself quarters was to test out some of the new stream quarter shop stuff. That was fun. Anyways, back to doing what I was doing. Yeah, nice flying. Yeah, there's a moderator section. Yeah, only moderators can do that type of stuff. Not even saying people I set on my stream as Twitch moderators, just so they can moderate my chat and everything. I mean, I literally have to set these people as like moderators on my actual account and stuff. No, not account. Man, it was my 3rd month anniversary for following yesterday. Oh, was it? Well then, thanks for following for so long, friend. It's been quite fun, and it feels like a lot longer since you first followed. I will say that much. Ouch. Yeah, it definitely feels like it's been quite a bit longer. Okay, I'm worried about the give quarters one because it doesn't specify if you need to say the name or if you give all or some. I think you have to specify a name, but I've never used the command, so... And nobody has access to the command, so... Bonuses. Lots of gravel. I've never really liked gravel. Just gets annoying. Ah, this is nice. Nice and calming. Enjoyable. Digging a bunch of gravel and mining out a giant pit that I'm now calling the Death Pit. Ah, perfect name. Alright, lots of the gravel. And okay. What's a bat doing up here? I hate bats. Oh, I hit it. Apparently. Wait, have I hit a limit or something? Have I hit a limit? I don't think so, but that was strange. Lots of stuff. Honestly, one day I just want to see what would happen if I gave some random person, okay, random person, yeah, perfect. Just some random person, no. Just give somebody, like that super moderation that allows them to, give other people quarters and stuff. I want to see what would happen. Songs requested. Alright, thank you for the info. I will get on to those. I hit my mic a few times. Approve all, approve, do it. Play. Oh, wait, this song sounds familiar. I think I know what it is. Sounds like a disaster waiting to happen, yeah. Yep, I recognize that. Yeah. The NPM member, Vincent, he doesn't know what Villager News is. He doesn't know Element Animation. I have hit the limit. Oh, yeah. That's why they added the crafting book. Yeah. That was a good addition for new players. But I've heard a lot of people... some people have complained about it. I don't know why, though. Even I liked it. I like it. Did you know some people spell incorrectly, or even incorrectly? I did not know that. That's many ways to spell incorrectly. Let's get... yeah, much better. This is definitely an OG song. You know, diamonds aren't at that height. Yeah, this isn't about mining diamonds, dude. If I wanted to do that, I would just go into my strip mine. This is more about having space to build crazy new things, like a gunpowder farm. Or a sorting system, because you haven't seen my chests, they are a mess. Plus, I don't really need to worry about diamonds because I think I have have the most diamonds on the server. Sounds unnecessary. Eh. It's very useful. Plus, it's fun. That's why I was thinking of TF2 when I was hearing that intro.
My word, this is the truth, the absolute coolest thing about the group is their hilarious, original, clever quips. I wish that I could ever be that smooth. So when this scout main owned me in a fight, I was speechless, no way to come back to the bright, funny, and simply epic chat response with nothing that could beat a Lenny Vine. Did you see that guy? He's so hip and flyy.
Jeez.
He's the coolest guy, cause he's got a Lenny Vine. Just hang me out to dry, cause I'm about to cry. Can I get my weapon signed? He's got a Lenny Vine.
I saw you on the Minecraft trade server today and I couldn't contain myself. You were just so sexy. Take me now, puppy. I love your Lenny Vine.
Did you see that guy? He's so hip and fly.
What are you doing here?
He's the coolest guy, cause he's got a Lenny Vine.
You requested more parodies? Okay.
Shot me and I died, then owned me with a vine. He's confident and so kind, he's got a Lenny Vine.
Yeah, I've never heard that song before. No idea what to think about. Alright, I'll be back in a moment. More specifically, those from a sunflower. What? I don't understand. Not enough dimes. True. But I'm not going to risk breaking my pickaxes right now, so... Oh. Need a stack at least. Yeah. Well, I'm close. Just 3 more blocks. Eater of seeds. Am I an eater of seeds? Oh, no. No, I am not. Oh, I'm never going to be prepared enough. But none of us really understand. Okay. Fair point. Alright, let's just make 19 more blocks of lapis. Do I have my... Yeah, I do have my key. See a diamond. There, bam. Me rich. Yep, got redstone, got elytras, and got riches. I'd be feeling good. Now let's go get my stuff repaired. This really should be a later in the stream type of thing I'm doing right now, but I'm doing it now because, well, kind of want to continue mining. Casually makes 19 more blocks of lapis lazuli. Yeah. Alright, everything seems to be good here. I gotta repair my shovel and both pickaxes. Great. I need to continue this. Neom. Whoa! Clunk. Alright, we're good. This is a place I normally visit. I visit this place a lot of times during whenever I play NPM because my stuff always needs repairing. Perfect. Settings, video, and render distance, 8 chunks. Right. Oh, that's good. Well, now we just wait here. Well, it looks like exciting news. One of the NPM member I was talking about, the third and final original member, might be joining us in a few seconds or maybe minutes. I think it's minutes. Yeah. Now, is that a Guardian farm? Yes, it is. This is I believe, the best Guardian farm you can make in Bedrock Minecraft. I will say this. In Bedrock edition of Minecraft, compared to Java edition in Bedrock, everything is simpler to build. I hope they speak English. I don't know. Oh, are you talking about the original member? Yeah, they do. But yeah, so in Minecraft Bedrock compared to Java, as I always say, it's simpler but less efficient. Because let's see, the Minecraft Bedrock iron farm compared to a Minecraft Java iron farm. The Java one is harder to build, but gives you more output. Meanwhile, in Bedrock, it's easier to build, but gives you less output. Same goes with the Guardian farm. Less output, but much simpler to build. And one of the greatest bonuses of Bedrock Edition, my stick is simpler than my hand, but it's less efficient. Yeah. Yeah, what was it? So, but here's the thing, let's see, what was I saying? Yeah, here's something I love about Bedrock Edition of Minecraft that Java Edition has never had. And, well, this wasn't possible for Bedrock until the 1.13 update either, so guess I can't really speak entirely. Anyways, as I was saying, man, that mask must get uncomfortable. Oh, it does. It does. But, thankfully, after 2 hours, I can take it off and enjoy relaxation. But mainly it's because I get, there's just itches that get underneath it. So I just have to reach under, get that itch, and I'll be good. But yeah, one of the best things about Bedrock Edition that Java doesn't have is auto killers. Auto XP killers, basically. Where you can just AFK somewhere and I should take it off now? Sure, no. No, a million quarters, please. But yeah, as I was saying, we have auto killers here on Bedrock. You throw a bunch of tridents in an area. You put two pistons, put a bunch of carpet, put the tridents on top of the carpet. And I'm literally the only viewer. Yeah, but this thing is going to be up for ever on my YouTube channel, so people can see it. I'm not spending 2 years. I know you're not spending 2 years. But other people probably will. I mean, hey, I haven't even been streaming for a year. So that's one thing. Yeah, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, auto killers basically, because the tridents were thrown by a player, it'll count them as a player kill, which means you get tons of XP from these things. It's nice. Plus, random person, who knows, maybe before somebody buys the thing with quarters, maybe I'll upload a video randomly to my YouTube channel saying, my true face, my true identity, face reveal, whatever. Anyways, let's see. And you said you didn't like cheaters. Hey, I didn't say the person would be cheating. I just said they might actually spend 2 years doing that. Plus, here's the thing, it's not cheating if multiple people on multiple it has to be different people, not the same person on multiple different accounts. It has to be multiple different people on the one account, on their main account or whatever. They can all chip in and help do this. So you have 2 people doing this and watching, it'll only take a year. If you have 100 people chipping in, it'll take much shorter time. Get 1,000 people chipping in to do it. It'll be even shorter because, well, you have to have one person that you can trust with all the quarters. Everybody gives those quarters to that one person, and then when they hit 1,000,000 quarters, they buy that one achievement. They buy the face reveal. So yeah. Bro, hiding your face is just another thing hindering you. What, from getting more viewers? Yeah, I realize that, but it's going to be that way. So what? I'm not here on Twitch to grow. Sure, it's nice to grow and stuff. It'd be tons of fun. It's tons of fun talking with people, and talking with more people will be like I uploaded a video of my family. Who cares if I get kidnapped? At least I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of revealing my face, but it's more, I don't care about growing on this platform. It's just a way for me to spend time and maybe make other people have a better day. Who knows? I know some people can come here just because they maybe had a bad day or whatever. I know there's some streamers that have people like that on their streams. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, everyone believes you. What? That I'm not doing this to grow, I'm just doing this for fun? Because, well, if that's how you want to look at it, then go ahead. Also, here's a pixelated version of my actual face. My day is no much better. That's the thing, with some people it isn't. But for others, it can be a great way of having a better day. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Whoa, 8-bit face reveal. Exactly. uh, yo, I'm out of here. I need sleep, man. Bye. All right, see you, random person. You sleep well. Maybe I should play my SCPSL soundtrack playlist. Maybe. Or maybe I could just turn on the in-game audio music. There we go. This is nice. You know what? I think it's time to go check to see how much experience I get. Yee? An Enderman really has nowhere to go that won't hurt him. I guess that's a problem with being an Enderman. If you get set on fire, you have to wait for the fire to burn out. You can't just go into water. Well, you could, but it would also be very painful. What the heck? Alright. Let's get over there, take off all my armor so it will focus on my pickaxe. Yeah, look at all that experience. Yeah, what happened to all of that? What happened to all the tridents? I feel like tridents, the auto killers feel like they've feels like they've broken recently, which is annoying. Alright, that's good. Okay, apparently that's not good. That ain't gonna move, is it? Okay, it is. Don't tell me the auto trident killers are broken. Alright. Well, that did barely any repairing to my pickaxe. That's great. Actually, that looks a lot better than I remembered. Let's see how many how many sea lanterns I can't make. I can barely make any. I feel like the new update, the the most recent update has really changed a lot of things, like spawn rates. Like maybe I feel like Guardian spawn rates have definitely gone down. All right, let's go. I'm gonna go check on James's treehouse. The real James's treehouse. Well. Alright, my friend can call me now. Hold on. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Oh, can you hear me? Am I here? Well then, this is off to a fantastic start.
What?
Oh, okay, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, good.
Alright, sweet. Now I'm guessing you can hear me.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, that's great.
I'm gonna try to connect right now. It wasn't letting me connect earlier.
Yeah, I see you changed your account name a little. Either that or you made a new account. Because,
Yeah, I had to make a new account because I couldn't sign back into the other one and I got signed out.
yeah, so basically this server uses a whitelist, and so only people with specific usernames can join, so your new account wasn't whitelisted, and your old account was, so I just had to change it up, and it fixed.
Great.
Yep. Here, I'm going to head towards the spawn location, so,
Okay, yeah, my game's just loading right now.
alright. In fact, I gotta drop off some items from into my storage system. But boy, this server is much different from the old one, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I think it was you. I remember, like, we, like, I don't remember what you did, but it was really funny. You like, created the server, but you, like, made our house have, like, holes in it and had, like, signs in it, so we had to, like, move to, like, a different server.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the original world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got
Next
that
to an
world.
external server.
Oh geez, all my cats are here. Alright. You've joined the game, it
Nice.
says. There you are. Woo! Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the server. Let's just climb up this mountain here so you can get a better view of everything. Ish.
Yeah, I wanna see how much this has changed.
Yeah, well, this is season 2 of NPM.
Yeah, I know this isn't the same one because the other one, like, blew up the other one.
Yeah, so...
I just wanna see, like...
Hey, don't hit my cats.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm just trying to get back up.
Yeah, here. This should help. Just climb the water. Here, more water. I know it's a little harder because you're on mobile, so... Yeah, if you look over that direction, hopefully you can see it all, but a lot is over there.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's some over... And there's some over there.
Oh, yeah, pillars and stuff. Yeah, let's go start off over there, because that's where the closest nether portal is.
Over there?
Yeah, over this direction.
Is there multiple nether portals?
Yeah, of course there is. There's only one end portal, though, so...
Yeah. Have we found it yet?
Yes, there's one, that's how I've got an elytra.
So you beat the end dragon?
I had to beat 2.
Does it keep respawning?
Well, basically, here's the thing. I was streaming one day. I got the end portal up. I was like, I'm going to sneak onto the very edge of it. It teleported me, and so I was very ill prepared. I fought
Wait,
it.
how is there two, though?
a glitch happened, and second one spawned after I died. Yep, just down here is the entrance. So, the first place I'll take you is the first ever mob grinder I made on the server. Goes very far down. Alright, yeah. Quite a journey, but once you get down, it's not...
Are we ever gonna do challenges like what we were talking about like last night?
Oh yeah, challenges, like, yeah, that's going to be a Java thing, because you can't really do that on Bedrock, sadly. Yeah, this just goes into the back. Let's just head through the... Don't head, just walk through it. So this is a quadruple spider killer, basically.
Nice.
So all the way at the bottom, we've got a little bit of a leakage because I don't care about this thing anymore, but this is...
Oh, sorry.
It's perfectly fine. This is where you would kill all the spiders. This place usually isn't flooded. Nope. I suggest you don't go up there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why you don't go up there.
There was like 20 spiders over there.
The worst part is they're cave spiders, so they're poisonous.
I know. Wait, how did you just get spiders to spawn though? Instead of
It's a quadruple spider spawner over here. There's 4 of them in the same area.
Yeah, but how'd you manage to make it just spiders that spawn?
Spiders, the monster spawners, let's head back up. The monster spawners, can only spawn one type of mob at a time, so...
How'd you get a monster spawner?
They spawn randomly throughout the world.
Oh, and you just built it down there?
Yeah.
Like you built around it?
Yeah, I built around them.
What if you like built a spider spawner?
Oh no, I wish you could do that. Anyways, let's head back up the mountain. Oh, perfect. Yep. I'll show you my, so, this server has, I believe, 12, maybe, I think, actually 13 people who, play on it. Or at least have access to join it.
We'll make that 14 now.
Actually, no, you were part of that 13.
Never mind.
Whoosh! I'm leaving you in my dust. Anyways, this is my, friend, other James's old house.
Ben,
Uh-huh.
eat food, I can't run.
Oh, yeah, here. Let me give you half of my stack.
Thank you.
There's a cow! Must murder! Yeah, this is his old house. This was a zero-tick sugarcane farm that broke.
Yeah, I was about to say there's only like 2 in there.
Yeah. Yeah, all of these farms are broken because of a recent update.
Can we farm from here still?
Yeah, they just won't be as fast and efficient anymore. Anyways, sweet berries, looks like.
And you can replant. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you can just tap them and it won't destroy the entire bush. It'll give you the berry as well.
Oh. Okay,
These are beginner food sources. I eat only this steak now. I appear to be stuck. La da da. Don't mind me. I'm just floating here. La da da da. Slowly floating down.
Okay.
So yeah. Oh jeez, I fell.
Oh, wow.
Here, let me get up. There we go. Yeah, this is his old house, but nothing much to see. So let's head to where all the action and craziness is.
So is there like a limit to like where I can build?
No limits. There are no limits.
Great.
This is like normal survival, but you have other people that are playing with you. It's kind of like the original worlds that we all played on.
And I probably don't have to say this, but like, don't worry about me like blowing anything up or doing anything crazy.
Yeah, I know. I trust you, Anna, and a few other. I trust anybody that I've really met in real life.
Mhm.
I will tell you this: I once did place my trust in the wrong people on this server.
Was it with the guy that blew stuff up?
Yeah, we just call that incident R now.
R?
Yeah, R,
the
because that was his the first letter of his Discord name.
Mm. What even made him do that? Something like that.
Apparently, it was just how I talked to him. Apparently, I treated him like a child because I always, jokingly, I always said, "Rapal, what did you do?" Because he was like more of the troublemaker on the server.
Yeah, that's nothing bad.
Yeah. Anyway,
Was
so
that-
this is a village that has
That's
been
nice that they do stuff like
absolutely abandoned and demolished.
that. I'm gonna farm. Don't mind me. I need some
Yeah.
of these.
Here, take some more sweet berries. There you go. But yeah, so there were 3 members on this server that made this house in the village. It was originally a village house, and they expanded upon it. So yeah, this was fun. Of course, though, I don't have a house still.
Wait, can I eat sweet berries?
Yeah, you can. Is it not letting you?
No.
Of course not. I think there's something bugged with sweet berries right now. Oh, give me a moment. Forgot to turn something off that I need to keep off whenever it's not a school night. Alright, hold on. Put in on headphones. Alright, I'm back.
So do people still like live in here?
No.
I think it's really nice that they left stuff and they're like, hey guys, you can take it if you need stuff.
Oh no, I don't think they meant. I think, honestly, I think that's just all the blocks they didn't want.
Oh, I'm gonna take some.
And look at this, they left their parrot and dog behind.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, let's head out front again.
Wait, so can I take some of this like cobblestone and stuff?
Sure. I don't think they're ever going to come back and use it, so I think it's safe to take. Yep. Let's head back out front.
And I think it's cool like outside where they have like the whole like
Rail system.
take food if you need it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, anyway, so if we head over this way, following the rail. Yep. Yeah, I don't understand this village much either. It's just crazy. Anyways, yeah, if we head over this way, this is another one of the members' old houses. So, originally when they joined the server, they all lived in that giant house over that giant house in the village. Then they all split into 3 different houses. One stayed living in that house in the village. Another one moved over here, and another one moved over in the house we first checked out.
Wow, what a flex. They're just using like straight iron blocks.
I have an iron farm that produces tons of iron. I can make it even bigger than this. In fact, look at me. I'm kind of flexing right now. I've got all diamond stuff.
Is the guy that blew stuff up named Rapal?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can probably link everything together. Incident R and Rapal. But yeah, this is just his old house. He moved all of his stuff to another house. In fact, all 3 of them, they first lived in that giant house. Oh, hey, Jeremy. How are you, friend? Yeah, sorry. I also am streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer right now. So if I just start talking to random people who aren't in the server or in this call, that's why.
It's all good.
Yeah, anyway, so, doing good? Alright, that's good to hear. So, yeah, basically, the 3 of them started out in this house over here. They then branched out, one of them staying in that house, one living in that house all the way over on the mountain, and one living in that lake. And then they moved into the same house again, all over here. Yep, just gonna eat some steak.
But I can like build what I want, right?
Yeah, you can build whatever you want. It's just a survival
You should
world with
creative
friends.
server also.
Huh?
You should make a creative server also.
Well, I kind of can't. I already have this server running off of my computer 24/7,
Oh, yeah.
so we would run into many problems if I were to create a second one.
Right. Plus, we can just work hard to get enough resources.
If you can't, sorry for not making it to the meetings. I've been busy with family lately because of the holidays. Wait, we were supposed to have meetings. Shoot. Don't worry. You're not the only one who forgot. Uh-oh, baby zombie, watch out. Move away so I can kill him. He's on fire now. It's even scarier. All right, we're good. Yeah, so this is and then they all moved into this house.
Is this the current house?
Yeah, this is two of them live in this house currently. Hold on,
I
zombie.
want to look at it. Can we go inside?
Yeah, there's doors on both sides, so
This
just up
place
the
is nice.
staircase. Yeah, I believe they just followed like a tutorial online for this. Because I mean, why not? Yeah, it's a nice house, nice and cozy. Yep.
Yeah, I saw this one thing that I want to build, but I saw it being built in creative mode. It's probably hard, but you know what? It's fine. I'll try.
Yeah, I'm surprised just by how much quartz they were able to get to make
Well,
this.
it's pretty easy to get nether quartz in the nether, right?
It's not that easy because you have to worry about lava, and yeah, it's scattered out around the place, but
Yeah.
I have more memes I made myself. Well then. Yeah, so it's actually quite it can be quite tricky to get quartz. And only a pro in Minecraft can make that. Yeah, I love you had to include the quotation marks. Anyways, we once actually played hide and seek in this house, so this was one of my hiding spots. I basically hid in here. Oh!
Oh,
Yeah, you just have to hit that trap door and it'll, There we go. Oh,
wait, can I hit the trapdoor?
yeah. See?
Okay.
You can just open it. There. Now we're good. I also heard, some phantom, so we might want to be careful there. I believe I hid in here. Yeah, I did. I just can't get in for whatever reason. Anyways.
I keep like going into this room and getting like stuck in here. I don't know why.
Yeah, I can tell you have auto jump on.
Yeah, I need to. Here, I'm gonna take it off.
Alright. They probably searched up on Minecraft good modern house to build in Minecraft to impress your friends. Yeah. You know, this is like James DeBoss and Eker YouTube, yeah.
Look at this, no auto jump.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Also, there's phantoms outside. I'll take care of those once we get out. I haven't slept in days.
Me neither.
Yeah, I didn't make anything in here.
Yeah, the sweep ears are being weird.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, so. And also be careful, this bow can one-shot most things in Minecraft, like this phantom here that I can't hit. Stop moving! It's easier to hit you when you're not! Okay, we're good.
I don't know where I should build now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy here. Anyways, let's start heading over this way. Because I built over here originally, and then people expanded nearby.
Yeah, I want to see what you built.
Oh wait, that's a horse, not a cow.
Also, do you have like a map?
Yes I do, but not on me right now.
Okay.
Anyway, so
The
over this way, after I take care of the skeleton. Much better.
Because I want to be able to see like where everything is, so I don't get lost.
Yeah, I haven't filled out the entire map. In fact, it's a level 4 map, so you can see quite a bit with it.
But there isn't. Okay.
Anyways, so, yeah, I'm just dropping a bunch of items. This is the house my friend Eker made. Over here.
It's
Yeah, it's
like the
huge.
size.
Inside, it's not finished, of course, and there is no ceiling.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like flat like wood.
Yeah, but he has some nice skeleton horses.
How do you get skeleton horses?
Uh, you can find you can find them randomly throughout the world. There's one of them, and then when you go get near it, it'll get struck by lightning and summon in the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll have to like breed two of them together and get my own one.
you can't breed them.
Oh.
But yeah, so he's planning on sharing this house with me because up here he made a room for me, surprisingly.
Wow, that's nice. Wait, so how do you get them then?
As I told you, they randomly spawn. There's a very low chance of them spawning around the world, and when you do get close, four of them, the four horsemen of the apocalypse spawn. Anyway, so that's about it to see with this house. There's a creeper here that I'm going to kill.
Oh man.
Doot 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 doot. There's a skeleton shooting at you. There's two skeletons shooting at you. Keep running.
I don't have enough like defense stuff to be able to defend myself yet.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm still here. Oh no, that's a drowned.
When I have like enchanted weapons and like diamond armor.
Yeah. Alright, let's start heading back over to what I've built.
I'm definitely gonna have to work my way up to that though.
Yeah.
Wait, did it drop its sword? Yes.
Oh, it did? Nice. Anyway,
Wait,
so
what's your
this
house?
is where I started off.
Wait, which one? The stone one or the wood one?
This is all mine.
Nice.
So basically, I started off, and like in season 1, which you never joined in. So here, let me just quickly explain things. The first world we played in is what I'm going to call the original server.
So cool.
Yeah. So the world we
I love
first
how
played
just a
on.
tiny amount of water gets everywhere.
Yeah. So yeah, the original world we played on, is now known as the original server. And then the server we started playing on afterwards.
Wait, what's conduct power?
Oh, conduit power. Basically, that means you can build really well, really quickly underwater. Yeah, if you come over this way, I've got a conduit over here. It's pretty insane. Basically, as I call it, it's the poor man's beacon. Oh no, I see something. Something. Are we good? Is it good? Okay, we're safe. We're good. It's all good. All right.
Everything you need.
Yeah, this is my shop. We'll get to that in a moment. Anyways, so yeah, I started off building this. Right. No, wait. I have to yeah, be careful of the berry bushes. They hurt a lot.
Wait, where's the conduct of
Over here.
power?
So basically, I call the conduit the poor man's beacon because if you don't have enough to afford a beacon, it can be somewhat easy to get a conduit. This is a conduit. Gives you lots of good powers when you're underwater. That's why you got it when you went under the water in the farm.
Or how do you make them?
It takes one heart of the sea and 8 nautilus shells.
How am I breathing under here?
Because this conduit is providing it to us.
That's nice.
Yeah. And of course, as I call it, the poor man's beacon, because you don't want to fight the wither, you can get this pretty easily.
Now I kind of want to just make one of those so I can breathe underwater and have like an underwater house.
Yeah, that is pretty nice.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the pit of death.
Take me away.
Yeet! Hi!
Bye.
Yeah, don't fall down. I have feather falling 4 and protection 4 on all my items, so you will die.
Have any like leftover armor that you're not using? Hit me up.
Yeah. Well, actually, Karen, I want to speak to your manager, and I rate your place 1 star. There's no ceiling. What to say? I'm dying in a relationship. Baby, don't hurt me no more. Alright, yeah, just stand at the door. I'm putting in my passcode. And get ready to run in. Get in. Oh, never mind here. Let me open it. Yep. So basically, after I,
So many the poor villagers.
they're not villagers, they're human slaves. Don't hit them. Please don't hit them. This was
Sorry.
really hard to set up. Yeah, let's just keep him in his cell.
Sorry, I was trying to trade with one of them. I'm so bad at like hitting things. But they're all at max level.
Yeah. So basically, after I built that farm, I wanted to build an iron farm. So I built the iron farm that you can see behind them in the glass area.
There's an iron farm?
Yeah, this is glass behind the glass is the iron farm section of this.
How do you make an iron?
Not underneath the glass, literally in the back panel. The back panel, like where you can see the lava and stuff behind the villagers. And so basically, I built the iron farm. Now I get infinite iron, and I decided not to let all these guys go to waste. So I made them into librarians, so I could get infinite trading books. So that's how I got all my epic gear.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's another thing. Down here, they're not villagers, they're human slaves. Exactly. Anyway, so in here is my chest room. There's lots of stuff in it. In fact,
You have like 10 crossbows.
yeah. That's not even the half
How
of
do
it.
did you just pass me iron?
You get that diamond stuff there. That's yours now.
Where?
In your inventory.
Are there boots and stuff that go with it?
Sadly not. That's all unenchanted loot I got from the from raiding end cities.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. Like
Yeah,
I've
I
got
want-
7 bells in this one shulker box. Oh yeah, this shulker box here, if you would like to have a look in it.
Where? Oh.
Huh? Yeah, you know what I'm preparing for.
What are the totem of undying?
So basically, if you hold it, it'll keep you from dying. So let's say you when you mention anything being white or black in elementary school, that's racist. Yeah. Basically, the totems of undying, when you hold one and you go into a situation where you're going to die, it'll keep you alive for another second. So it'll keep you alive, basically.
20 saddles.
Oh yeah, raiding.
Ridiculous.
In fact, here I might have an extra totem of undying that you can use somewhere, just to
my
test it out and see what it's like.
You have 4 dragon heads?
Yeah.
Are you?
And you see the elytra I'm wearing? Yeah, it's not the only one I have.
What?
Yeah, I raided the end like crazy. I'm the only one who has actually successfully raided the end. Oh yeah, here's something that will hurt anybody in this server or in this game. Like, here, take a look at that.
You enchanted?
I am that rich that I decided to make a diamond hoe, enchant it with Unbreaking 3 and Mending. So yeah,
I look in every chest and there's like,
there's not much back here. It's all over here up front.
okay, can I take a bed out of your like?
Yeah, you can take a bed. I'll keep you alive, people who didn't die at the Area 51 raid. Oh, come on! Oh my gosh. Where did I put that totem? I swear, it must be in one of these chests. I know it's in one of these chests. In fact, I'm pretty sure you get an achievement for using a totem. Yeah. You know what? Here, I've got an idea. Follow me. Yep, just this way. Alright. This, don't take anything, but...
Oh, I'm
th-
not.
here. Well, no, over here. Up your butt and around the corner. Ready? Just take a look in this. I am a rich man.
How can I like enchant my stuff?
So you need emerald and books.
Emerald and books?
Yeah.
Where can I get emeralds and books?
Emeralds you can get from the villagers. Books you can get from paper and leather. But here, I'll give you some books I'll give you enough books and emeralds to get some really good stuff on your gear. Just give me a moment.
I don't really know how to. I probably sound like such a noob
Oh,
right now.
excuse me for a moment. Something just happened. What just happened? Notification went off on my stream. Oh, was it? Yeah, Spooky Buns. Thank you for the follow. Anyways, here, let me quickly.
Can they hear me?
Oh, Minecraft just crashed.
Oh God.
I don't know why, but my Bedrock edition of Minecraft just crashes at random points for no specified reason. Yeah, here, let me get back into the server. No problem. Yeah, it's always much appreciated. Alright, where is all my leather? Okay, there's more leather. Yeah, let's just say I think I'm the richest on the server currently.
Probably.
I mean, I have 61 blocks of diamond.
It's fine. What I don't make, I'll make up for it by building something really cool.
And also, this is basically like your free trial for this service, because this shop, everything you need, which is what we're currently in, is actually, I believe, a stack of 100 diamonds to access. So,
Jeez.
yeah, you pay 100 diamonds, you can go to this shop until the next season starts, and I don't know when the next season's going to start yet. All right.
Wait, do you mean you can go in here or just like in the shop?
No, in this area, in this entire area. So you get deals like getting all of this iron in the chest. You get sugarcane, which is we are out of stock of because my zero tick sugarcane farm broke. Anyways, let's see.
Do you have any like wood?
Huh?
Do you have any big wood chests?
No, of course not. Anyways.
Wait, can they hear me on the stream?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Yes. Go.
Anyways, take that stuff and get some enchantment books for yourself.
I don't know what to get.
My suggestions are mending, unbreaking, and protection. So, mending 1, unbreaking 3, and protection 4. I believe we have all of those books in here.
What do you have in your sword? Because I have my iron sword. I don't have access to it.
Sword? Wait, what? My sword, I've got looting 3, sharpness 5, unbreaking 3, fire aspect 2, and mending 1. However, I suggest you wait until you get a diamond sword for that, because having a diamond sword with that type of stuff on it is much better.
This is probably a lot. Would you mind enchanting my... Wait, why don't you want the diamond chestplate for yourself? You don't have one.
Oh, I've got one.
Okay.
What are you doing in Minecraft? I am playing on my private SMP server on Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. So yeah, Here, I can. If you throw your stuff, the emeralds and books and everything to me, I can get you some good enchantments on everything. Yeah, this is so basically this server. Let me explain to you, Spooky.
Should I go get like? Do you have like iron boots or like a helmet that I could use?
Not at the current moment, but you're about to get the sweet, sweet deal.
Okay, and I'll try to like. I can go like. I'll go mining and try to find you 100 diamonds if you want me to pay you.
All right. You are about to get the
How'd you
full
even find
god
61
set.
diamonds?
Huh?
How'd you even find like 61 stacks of diamonds?
Let's see. Basically, I do a bunch of mining. I go strip mining and stuff. That's most of it, but there's also a part of it where I literally, I basically buy, people buy passes to my stuff. Like, this place. I have like 5 people who paid me 100 diamonds to get access to this place. So that's how another way I got a bunch of diamonds. So yeah, we're basically building a tiny economy on this server.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna get started on my house soon.
Spoiled rich kid. Spoiled rich kid. Heather wants to know your location now. No. Can you add me as could me and a friend? What? It's kind of like a giveaway to join, so not right now. Yeah, basically. Okay, so in the in the huh? Sorry, what was that, Thalia?
Can you like tell how many people are like watching your stream?
Yeah, there's one on YouTube and one on Twitch.
Are you gonna be posting this onto your channel?
Yeah, it'll be on my YouTube channel forever and on my Twitch channel for the next 14 days.
Awesome. I'll follow your Twitch channel.
All right, yeah, it's just Ben24455. Anyway, so basically, Spooky, if you want to try to get into this server, we're currently accepting 2 new members by I'm going to give it till New Year. So when New Year's hits, I'll select 2 random people who have signed up to join the server. And that'll make 15 players on the server then. Anyway, so basically how you can join is if you look in the cards below, you'll find a link to my Discord. You join the Discord in the announcements section. In announcements, you'll if you scroll up a little, you'll be able to find the a Discord link for my the NPM Discord. And from there, you'll be able to get all the good stuff. You'll be able to find everything else. Alright, so you need protection 4 here. Protection 4. Let me turn everything into emeralds. There, just... Alright. 1, 2, okay. Can only do 2 for now. Let's see. Protection, where's Unbreaking 3?
Could I make like boots and a helmet to enchant?
Yeah, here, so... Here's what you'll be getting. I'll just throw it on the floor so you can see it, but I'll enchant it for you. So this is what you'll be getting.
What?
This is all you'll be getting once I enchant it.
I thought you cut out. Sorry.
Oh, well, you'll be getting fully enchant. You'll be getting armor that's nearly identical to mine.
Sweet. I feel like I don't deserve this because I haven't done anything yet.
Well, this is basically like your free trial currently.
Okay, can I like repay you for this in any way?
Yeah. So you can. Well, I'm giving it to you for free. So I swear, if I'm not selected, I'll hack your computer and give Spilled Rich Kid Heather all of your riches in Minecraft and post a picture of your face on Discord and Twitter. You have been warned, JK. Well then, all right. Where's the Unbreaking 3 book? Unbreaking 3. Here it is.
They all sleep at the same time.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Unbreaking 3. Let's get 2 of these. All right, and now I have got most of what we need so far, but now the problem comes that we have to wait for them to restock.
What do you mean?
Enchant, and enchant. So here's your helmet.
Nice.
And I don't have enough levels. Great. I heard up until join the Discord. I want to enter it. Would be cool to make friends who play Minecraft. Yeah, here. You know what? Let me quickly give you a link to the Discord server. I might disconnect here, Thalia, just to let you know.
Okay, it's all good.
Yeah. Here. Let's.
I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna bring up my computer.
Alright. Let's see. Announcements. Copy link. Okay, that should be good. Now let me post it here. So, there. That's the Discord server. That's the link to the NPM Discord. Alright, rejoining the server now. Sweet. Alright, so yeah, here. You know what? I'll just give you all of this, and at your own time, you can enchant it all. Whenever you want, basically.
How will I get back down here to enchant it?
Here, I'll basically I'll be giving you a free trial. I did it with my other friend. You're one of the lucky 2 to get the free trial. So that arrow in front of
Did Anna get it?
Anna doesn't play that much, so she has no idea about any of this.
Okay, this is gonna. I don't really know how to enchant that well.
So basically, you want to put your. So if you. Okay, one sec. Yeah. So if you look in. Behind you, there's an anvil here.
Yes.
You look in the anvil, you put your chest plate or the armor or anything that you want to enchant in the first slot, and put the enchantment book in the second slot. And the more enchantments you need, if I'm selected, will I get a free trial? Probably.
And
So
why
yeah.
do you need the enchantment table?
What are you talking? You mean the anvil?
Yeah.
The anvil combines those enchantments. That's its job.
With the enchantment table.
The enchantment table, that's basically with the enchantment table, it'll give you one enchantment at an XP cost, much lower than that of an anvil will give you. But it's a random enchantment. You can't decide what it is. That's why I like doing this. I clicked the link and it gave me an error. Oh, is that an expired link? Probably is.
What's Depth Strider?
Depth Strider is for your boots. It makes you walk like 3 times faster in water. So, like, if you see this, I'm going to pour some water down here. I'm going to take my Depth Strider off, and you see how slow I'm going?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let me put Depth Strider on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you see that? That's what Depth Strider does.
Great. So, how will I get into this building?
So, you picked up that arrow, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so if you come out here, you step on this pressure plate to get out. You just have to run out. I think you still have auto jump on. At least it looks like it.
I'll check again. Oh, yep. Jeez, auto jump is literally so annoying.
Yeah. Anyway, so you come out here. You see this? You want to put your arrow in this dropper and then walk into the door. You want to go quick. Oh, I think auto jump is still on. So yeah, and then when you're done, when you come in here, you're going to want to head downstairs here. And in this chest is where your pass will be.
Okay, what does Mending 1 do?
Mending, basically, when you collect, the title isn't clickbait, it really is Noobs Play Minecraft. So the mending, basically, whenever you collect some experience, it'll repair your stuff, your item, or it'll repair your armor and stuff. So, very useful tool. Hold on, I'm gonna go put some sand in my chests. Alright, we're good.
Okay, I'm gonna go scout out a place to, Bro, why is auto jump?
I don't know. Wait, where do I even go for auto jump? Oh, it's right there.
Okay, there we go. I think auto jump is good.
Alright.
Yeah, oh, watch out, watch out!
Keep back, keep back, keep back, keep back, keep back here. I'll deal with it. Dang it! Well, at least it didn't destroy the system.
Oh yeah, thank God we got it away from the house there.
Yeah, thank you for getting stuck in those. Even though I could have probably killed it if I was quicker,
Sorry.
it's still good. No, you are not at fault here. That's actually more good than anything. But wait, the tour isn't over.
Oh yeah.
Yep, now let's head over to the death hole over here.
Oh no.
Don't worry, there's a nice little stone bridge here. You'll take a little damage falling onto it. But basically, yeah, this is my bed. I sleep here. This is a super smelter. It's free to use for anybody. Basically, in the top chest, you put your items that you want to smelt. And in the bottom chest, you put all the fuel, which is already loaded up. And in the bottom chest over here, you get everything that you need. All that fish is free. You can take as much as you want.
Okay, I'm just gonna take like a stack for food.
Yep. Oh yeah, and these are all my dogs here. They're guarding it.
Sorry.
Now the only way down is this way. Here, I'll put some water down. You can jump into it.
How do you survive that?
I've got feather falling on my boots.
I need to get feather falling.
And protection. So basically, feather falling 4, protection 4, and the diamond boots themselves all add up and are really OP. Oh. Here. There you go. Okay, we'll have fun. See ya. Alright, see ya, dude. You have a good night. And this is the very long-ish staircase to the top. I'll tell you this. This hole is 32 by 32 blocks. And it is going all the way down to bedrock.
Okay, wait, was that your current where's your like current house?
I don't have a house.
You don't?
I don't use a house at all.
Does Anna have one?
No, she hasn't joined this season of NPM yet. So, yeah, that's the thing I keep telling you. I can't explain it all. I keep forgetting to tell you. So, the original world the three of us played on, that was literally just a world, was the original NPM, Now, the server we started playing on, where you had to log into that account to do everything, was the first official NPM. You're taking flexing in Minecraft to a whole new level, LMAO. Yeah. So.
Be honest. You really are taking flexing to a whole new level. Like,
Anyways, as I was saying, so and then.
How do you do this?
Huh?
How do you do this?
Maps. These are all maps, and this is my friends.
Do you just like place them on?
Yeah, there's item frames. Whenever you put a map inside of an item frame, see, I'm holding a map now. It'll go full and do this.
I'm too much of a noob to know this.
Well, that's why it's called Noobs Play Minecraft.
Yeah.
It doesn't lie, does it? And anyways, I was saying, so that server where the ad played every so often, was... Oh, are you there?
What? Oh yeah.
Awesome. So basically that server we played on where the ad played every minute or something, that is what we're referring to as NPM Season 0, basically.
Great.
Now then it came NPM Season 1, where I booted up a server onto my computer, and that became Season 1, where it was just basically a test of everything. In fact, I can show you the Season 1 NPM world, even. You there?
I'm there. Sorry,
Alright,
I'm
cool. The tour still isn't over as well.
I know.
It's never over.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Alright. Da 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 da. This is fine.
Sorry, I'm almost done. I'm just looking at something.
That's fine. Perfectly fine. Woo-loo-loo-loo-loo-loo. I am floating.
Okay, I'm all good. Let's go.
Alright, sweet. Anyway, so, as I was saying, so the world we played on was the original NPM server. The server we started playing on, where that ad displayed every so often, was NPM Season 0. And then this is now NPM Season 2, so I'll explain NPM Season 1 in a moment. This is the Villager Breeder. Yeah, this dude was outcast because he's a nitwit and doesn't give any trades, and this dude was outcast because he has horrible trades.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, be careful. If you hit them, they might not give me any more villagers. They're literally a villager breeder. They give me as many villagers as I please. Anyways, now it's time for us to head into the Nether. Is it just me or do I smell smoke? Make love already. What? No. Why do you have to bring that up? Out of everything, why that? What are you doing here again? Get out of here! How many times do I have to tell you and your llamas to stay out?
The dropper, but I didn't get in time.
Yeah, here, I'll bring you your pass in a moment. Alright.
That's done.
Also, if you didn't know, I'm currently wearing a Plague Doctor mask, so... Yeah, alright, I need to find my boat. Where did I put it? I have a boat somewhere in my chest, and that boat makes traveling around the Nether so much easier. I have my reasons. Don't question my reasons. Yeah, I've learned not to question your reasons or anybody who watches my streams' reasons, because those reasons get very complicated very quickly, I've learned. Seriously, where did I put my boat? Am I just missing it? Did I? Oh, wait, it's in here, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Alright, here, let me... So, basically, whenever you come here, Thalia, quick tip, you want to stand on that stone block right outside the door. Or the glowstone. Oh, I've got your pass here. Yeah, you need to step on that pressure plate to get out. So yeah, whenever you're here, you want to step on this glowstone, hit the dropper, put your pass in, and then immediately exit and start walking. So here's your pass.
Can you toss me my pass?
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, we can explore the NPM Season 1 world later. Oh, alright, we're here in the Nether. How do I get out? There we go. Try sleeping in the Nether. Yeah, you can't fool us. Alright, welcome to the Nether and the ice path.
I'm kind of stupid, but I'm not stupid enough to know that we can't sleep in the Nether.
Yeah. Alright, so first let me take you to the end portal. Hop in. Alright, and let's go. Now this is the most satisfying thing just because of how fast you can go. Alright, up out of the boat. I'm going to destroy it. Don't want to hit you. Oh, you're controlling the boat. Oops, sorry. Oh, excuse me. Alright, I'm back.
Cool.
Alright, there's the boat. Anyways, through this nether portal is the end portal.
Nice. Another end portal?
Yeah, this is Nether portal. There's only one end portal in the server currently.
Oh, sorry, another portal.
Yeah. This is the only active end portal. And I've beautifully decorated it with water. You? Now, of course, we get the underground spawn.
Of course, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and be careful, there's still a lot of Endermen here, but for me, easy to deal with. Where'd you go? There you are. And on the edge of the edge of the island is water.
Why?
Why not?
Did you guys?
Oh no, get in the water. And don't fall, don't start, you might want to keep swimming here. I'll hit him a few times just so he leaves you alone and kills me, tries killing me instead. Which, I of course have some epic gear, so unlikely he'll do that. Alright, and you should be good. No Endermen are chasing you, that from as I can tell. Alright, now, yep, this is just the end. Boring, bland, and of course, as always, the same thing. Oh wow, I one-shot him. Awesome. Anyways, just over here is the end portal home. I entirely teleported over it. Yep, just over here is the end portal home. We'll take it home. That's right, you are going to spawn at the spawn area. Hold on. Wait.
Oh no. Oh wait.
Did you go through it?
Skip button. It's gonna be so bad if there wasn't a. Oh, I'm drowning.
Oh, yeah, be careful of that. I'm on my way over. Hello, I'm behind you. Yep, let's get up here. Oh, behind you again. Oh, no! Phantom, get out of here! You're there. Okay, we're good. Oh, I'm behind you again. Yep, just over here. We'll take the nether portal to another location. Oh. Right, you can waterlog leaves. Here. Easier way up-ish. Oh. Here, hold on. There. Oh!
Sorry, I'm not. It's like I don't have auto jumping on any on the
Yeah, I know. Oh, anyways, let's head over to that pillar over here. More phantoms, great. Yep, give me a moment to kill these guys. Alright, over this way. We'll head back to the spawners, the quad spawner area, and head through its nether portal. In fact, this is the closest nether portal to the spawn, so fun. Oh, you all right? Nice. All right, let's head to the nether portal. No. Alright, and now, here we are, back in the nether. And of course, at a different nether portal. Alright, now this time, we'll head this direction. Oh, I love these tunnels. They're just so fast. Alright, over here, or I'm just going to quickly show you this. This is basically a kill chamber. Yep, oh, yep, this way. This is a kill chamber for guardians. Basically, I have a guardian farm. The guardians will come in, drop down, and get killed by these tridents when turned on. You can't collect those tridents because they are the killing thing that kill the guardians. This basically acts as an experience farm. Easy XP right here.
How did you get the... Oh, was that me?
Yeah, you accidentally hit me, but that's fine. Yeah, basically these go back and forth killing the guardians and stuff. And so basically when they get killed, you get all the experience over here. And over this direction, just over here, underneath and everything, is where you can collect all the items that are dropped. Yeah, that's fun. Now to show you the actual Guardian farm itself, because it's one of the biggest projects I have ever worked on. Ever.
Sorry.
In fact, actually, it might be quicker to just walk, because the nether portal's just over this direction. So let's just walk the distance. Anna still hasn't joined Season 2 of NPM. Oh. Did you go back through the portal?
Did you give her, like, the server and everything? Like, does she have access to it?
Yeah, she has access to it. She just has been busy with schoolwork and stuff. So she hasn't been on in quite some time. Did you go through the nether portal? Oh, there you are. Oh! That's strange.
Yeah, I don't know why it did that. It's fine. I'll just come back through.
Oh, what? Uh-oh. Something is definitely glitching out, it seems. That's not good. Alright, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all for joining and watching and all. What? You haven't collected your item? Uh-oh. Yeah, thank you for joining the stream. I'll see y'all next